Could it be? For me, you're me, Louie T. Welcome to this LouieTeeNetwork exclusive. It's a Saturday, so this is a very odd time for me to be live. Obviously, there's college football. I'm so excited about the first real weekend. Last weekend was college zero, or week zero, excuse me, of college football, which not really any big games per se. This is the real first week of college football. You've got 3 top 25 matchups where you've got 2 teams in the top 25 pitted against one another. You've got a top 10 matchup with number 2 Ohio State taking on number 5 Notre Dame. I'm a Fighting Irish fan. I expect us to get absolutely drubbed in that game, but we'll see. I think right now we're at 16-point underdogs. That sounds about right. I expect us to lose by at least 2 touchdowns. I'm thinking more like 3, but we'll see what happens once the game gets kicked off. You've got, I think Oregon's playing against Georgia. That's Georgia's 3rd ranked. They're the defending national champions. A lot of people forget that because Alabama right now is number 1. But Georgia is playing Oregon. I think Oregon's ranked 11th, if I'm not mistaken. So that's another top, 2 teams in the top 12 squaring off. And then I think you've got Cincinnati taking on Arkansas, if I'm not mistaken. Cincinnati's the 23rd ranked team in the nation, and Arkansas is ranked 19th. Anyway, should be a really good day of college football. A lot of games are getting kicked off at noon here. None of them really pique my interest per se. The 3:30 games is when the real fun begins. And then, of course, the nightcap, Notre Dame, Ohio State. But anyway, that's not why I came, okay? I said that to say I'm not going to keep you here very long because I know you've got better things to do than hear me ramble about frivolous items. But this here is not frivolous. And one more thing before we move on. How about my Old Dominion Monarchs getting the win over the Virginia Tech Hokies 20-17 last night? I thought it was hopeless. We were down. First of all, we were up 10-7 at halftime. And then they ran off 10 unanswered points. They were up 17-10. They had the ball late. I was expecting them to be able to run out the clock. There was less than 4 minutes to go. They were in Old Dominion territory. And somehow, some way, we managed to get the football, take it down the field, get in the end zone, and win that football game 20-17. Shout out to the Monarchs for defeating the Virginia Tech Hokies yet again. Not as sweet as the first time when they were actually a ranked football team. They're not as good as they used to be, but it's still, it's still about the supremacy, the state of Virginia. Obviously, the Virginia, Cavaliers have something to say about that as well. But look, we're putting our name in the hat, okay? When you start talking about football in the state of Virginia, Old Dominion is starting to say, hey, don't forget about us. That's all. We're still not on a national level, but it's always nice when one of the powerhouses of the state comes knocking on the door, you answer and you kick their ass. That's the second time we've done that to the Virginia Tech Hokies. Anyway, I digress. So I want to real quick just come here. I'm not going to keep you long. LTN Exclusives. Football season right around the corner. We are less than a week away from the start of the 2022 NFL season with the Thursday night kickoff, Bills at the Rams. And so that's going to be a great way to kick off the season. It's going to be an electric week number 1. You got that game on Thursday night. You got Cowboys and Bucks on Sunday Night Football. And then you finish up the weekend. Russell Wilson returns home to Seattle as now a member of the Denver Broncos with a fresh new contract in tow to take on the Seattle Seahawks. That should be a bloodbath on Monday night. It should be the introduction to the rest of the nation to these Denver Broncos and how good they can actually be. But it's just about Russ going home. So that's going to be a fun game as well. But with that said, the season's getting underway, and I've got some exclusives out here that I want you guys to be a part of. And so I'm going to quickly give you a synopsis of what's going on, how you can be a part of it, and what the deadlines are for you to be a part of these LTN exclusives. So first up, the Don Dada of all of my exclusives, the Winners and Losers League, which is the most fun because it's a year-long, football pool, essentially, where you make your selections on a weekly basis. You go up on my Google Slides. I've got or a spreadsheet rather, and I've got it's Google forgot which one it is, but anyway, you make your picks off of the Google, and I've got the links on my website. Obviously, you click, and so all the links that you need are down below in the description. The links to fill out the forms to become a member, or gosh, why am I? See, this is why I don't do shows on Saturday. Right here, my brain is just blanking. I can't think of words that I want to say. Give me a second. I can't think of the word. Anyway, all the sheets that you need to fill out to enter in your entry forms are down below in the description of this video. And the first one I want to talk about is winners and losers. So it's a season-long weekly pool sheet, essentially, that you fill out your winners each and every single week, submit those picks, and there's a running tally. And, we do this for each week of the season. And it's, like I said, a running tally. So your overall record is compiled as the season progresses. So if you go 11-6, 11-5 in week 1, and then in week 2 you go 10-6, that would be 21-11 to start your first 2 weeks, and we just keep going all the way down to week number 18, the final week of the season, and then at the end we crown a winner. Last year the winner was Carmen Rana. I want to say we got up to 500 maybe and $50, something along those lines. Something in there is $500. It was substantial. It was a good piece of change, right? And all you have to do is invest $25 to get in to this. Now, I will say this is not for everyone, because it is a year-long commitment. And I know things come up, and I know sometimes you're not able to put in your picks. For me, it'll take you every bit of 5 minutes to put your picks in. There's no excuse to not be able to get your picks in, but some people, either they think they're not going to be able to win, or whatever the case may be, and they don't submit their picks for whatever reason. And if you can't commit to 18 weeks of submitting picks, similar to if you're in a fantasy football league and you can't commit to 14 weeks of submitting your lineups for your fantasy football league, then you shouldn't play, right? So that it's the same premise here. If you can't submit 18 weeks worth of picks, then this isn't for you. But for those of you who are like myself, that are an adrenaline junkie, and my adrenaline is at its peak when I'm competing. I'm probably more of a competition junkie than I am an adrenaline junkie, because adrenaline junkies, they do things just for the rush. Like, I'm not jumping out of an airplane, but an adrenaline junkie probably would jump out of an airplane because they want that rush. I just want to compete. So on Sundays, when I see the Titans playing against the Vikings, that game means absolutely nothing to me if I don't have something on the line. Well, if I'm in winners and losers, or I'm in my weekly pick 'em pool, which I'll talk about here in a second, now I have a rooting interest. I need Tennessee to take care of business so they can take care of the Vikings, so I can get that win. So that's why I just love the competition of winners and losers. We always have people talking about, oh, I went 13-3 last week. Prove it. I don't want you to tell me about it. I want you to show me by getting in the league and showing me what you're about. Because my picks every week. I go on my podcast. I give you my selections. You know where I stand. No one, and I mean no one, has ever gone 16-0 in a week making picks. I think I've had someone go 13-0 before, maybe 14-0. No one's ever gone 16-0, which you only get at the beginning of the season and at the end of the season when there are no more bye weeks. So I've yet to do that myself. The best I've ever done is 15-1. I've never gone 16-0. I've never gotten every single pick right. It's just hard to do. Somebody's going to upset. There's going to be an upset somewhere in there. There's going to be a game you didn't see coming. There's going to be some tight games where it could go either way. It's a coin flip, and you just are on the wrong side of the coin. Whatever the case may be, winners and losers pool, or league, excuse me, is so much fun, and I'm really trying to get it to where it's the most it's ever been. It's been on a steady incline each and every single year. when we first started this thing, I think it might have been $200. Then the next year was like, 400. Then the next year was like 500. I think last year it was like 550, 600, somewhere in there. So I'm trying to get it to where it's $700-800 this year. So if you're interested, down below, the registration, that's the word I was looking for earlier. Registration forms. The links are down below for you to go to the registration form, fill it out, and then you have to pay your registration fee. Okay, so for winners and losers, $25. And again, for me, that's a small price to pay for an opportunity to win. If you're good at this, if you are as good as you think you are, $25 is a small investment, small fee to pay. It's almost like buying a lottery ticket, Or if you're a gambler, I'm not really that much of a gambler, but if you're a gambler, you spend $25 on a parlay and you just see what happens, or you spend $25 on an over/under before the season starts and you just see what happens. You just leave that $25 there, and if your over hits, your under hits, boom, you cash your ticket. Same thing here. You put your $25 in and you make your picks. The only difference is you control the outcome. You make the picks, you get to see what happens. That's why I love this, because sometimes you feel helpless. When you don't have control over it, I know that's when I feel my most helpless. That's not the case here. I control the outcome of my sheets, the overall, pool. I control my not destiny. I hate when people say that. I control the outcome of, the pool in terms of how I fare. Can I win? I did not win. I won the 2 years previous to last year. I was a 2-time champ. I was dethroned last year. I am out for blood this year. Okay. When I tell you I was pissed off that I lost last year, it wasn't that I just lost. I wasn't even close last year. Last year was one of my worst years. I'm looking to bounce back in a major way. I was never really, I don't think I ever led last year. I don't think I led for any amount of time. I fell behind early. I dug myself quite a bit of a hole. And I came storming back right around week 16. I was within like 2 games or so. And I couldn't complete the comeback. I was down as many as 11 games at one point. I was down out of first place by 11 games, and I cut that deficit to 2. And then I fell back off after that. So I'm definitely looking to rebound this year, get myself back where I feel like I need to be. And I'd love to take your money. If you're interested in playing in this league, I'm dying to have you come in, feel like you can beat me, feel like you're better than me, prove it. You're not going to prove it, because I feel like I'm the best at this. Last year was just a hiccup. I'm going to rebound this year and get what's rightfully mine, and that's the title of being the best prognosticator out here in the game, doing this thing here in the NFL. So that's winners and losers. It's a year-long football pool, keeps a running tally of your picks. The person with the most wins at the end of the pool gets the money, and it's winner takes all. The first year we tried to do this thing, first, second, third place, to hell with that. Winner takes all. That's kind of how I love to operate. You go in here, you execute, it's all yours. You do it for 18 weeks. This is all your money. So if you're interested, you got any questions, hit me up. Multiple ways to get at me, whether you use the email, LouieTeeNetwork@gmail.com, whether you put it down in the comment section of this video, you DM me, or you just tweet at me at LouieTeeNetwork on Twitter, or you hit me up, DM me on IG, or you just hit me up on IG, LouieTeeNetwork_. So there are so many ways to get in contact with me in regards to these LTN exclusives. Winners and losers is the one that to me stands out above the rest. But another one that has been a staple, and this one is the granddaddy of them all, because this one's been around the longest, and that's the Sole Survivor pool. This is the 10th edition, the 10th annual Soul Survivor Pool. So I've been doing this for a decade now. I've been on YouTube for a decade now. Okay, I started in 2012, in August of 2012. Now it's September now of 2022. So I've been doing this for a decade. Every single year I've done a Survivor Pool. Okay, and this has stood the test of time. For those of you that don't know how a Survivor Pool works, it's a really simple concept. You pick a team to get you through to the next week. They have to win. If they lose, you're eliminated from the pool. It's really simple. You cannot select the same team twice. So, for example, week 1, you expect the Denver Broncos to beat the Seattle Seahawks. So you pick Denver. They get the win in week 1. You move on to week 2. You cannot select Denver for the remainder of the pool. Next, in week 2, you decide, okay, I think Dallas is gonna, beat Cincinnati. I don't know if that's who they're playing or not. I know they're playing them somewhere in the first 3 weeks, but let's say you think Dallas is gonna win, so you pick the Cowboys, and the Cowboys get the job done. You move on to week 3, all right, and in week 3, you say, okay, Buffalo's playing. They're playing the Jaguars. I expect the Bills to take care of business against the Jaguars, and the Bills do. Can't pick Denver, can't pick Dallas, can't pick Buffalo, but you're on to week 4. You have to pick a new team, and so forth. And you keep going until either you're the last man or woman standing, okay? You're the sole survivor, or you're eliminated. So I haven't won this yet. I'm 0 for 9, okay? Every year I'm like, well, 9th year is the charm. 10th year has to be the charm, right? I was as close as I've ever been last season to winning. So I feel like I'm trending in the right direction, but there's no carryover with the Survivor Pool. Anything can happen. That's why the Survivor Pool is so much fun, because of the validity of it, the volatility rather of it, is you have no idea what's going to occur. You think that this team is an absolute lock to win, and that is the week that they decide to play their absolute worst football and they lose, and you and 3 or 4 other people who thought that team was going to win are all eliminated. That's happened to me at least 4 or 5 times, where me and like 5 or 6 other people get eliminated just like that off of a game that we just feel like there's no way we're going to lose this game. And then that team loses. That's why you love the NFL, because it's expect the unexpected. You can never feel comfortable with the selection in the Survivor Pool. And that, again, that's part of the, hey, you're watching your game, but you're watching that crawl at the bottom because you picked the Titans to beat the Jaguars. I would not advise you to select a family business matchup as your Survivor Pool pick, but that's my philosophy and my strategy, and maybe not yours, but you're watching that thing intently, because if Tennessee doesn't get it done, you're out. You know what I'm saying? So Survivor Pools, ton of fun. We do it every year. $20 to get in. Okay. The registration form, the link is down in the description. So are the ways that you can pay. So again, if you want to be a part of any of these LTN exclusives, the way to do it is either filling out the registration form and then paying via PayPal or by CashApp. If you don't have one of those 2 methods of payment, then you're not going to be able to join. I was going to try and do Venmo this year, but I'm not a big Venmo guy. So I'm going to just keep it strictly PayPal and Cash App. Those are 2 prominent, figures in the game right now. Most people have those at their disposal. So if you are interested in being in either of those 2, the links are down below, and the ways to pay are also down below. The links are down below as well. And then there's the weekly pick'em pool. So this is it's akin to the winners and losers league, but it's not as much of a obligation to you. It's a weekly pick'em pool. So you decide whether you want to play this week or you don't want to play. It's really simple, just like a standard, pool that you've been in, where you make your selections. The difference here is that we have a tiebreaker set up on Monday nights. So Monday night, you pick the winner, and then you pick the combined amount of points that you think the 2 teams are going to score. So, for instance, Monday night this year for week 1 is going to be Broncos at Seahawks. And let's say that you think there's going to be, 49 combined points between the two teams. So the way that the tiebreaker works is that, let's say at the end of week 1, you get to Monday night, going into the Monday night game. There have been 15 games played already, and you went 13-2, and somebody else went 13-2, and you both are tied. And both of you picked Denver to win on Monday night. So there's not going to be a way to distinguish a winner just off of wins and losses. Now the tiebreaker comes into effect. We go to your points. Let's say you picked 49 and the other person picked 58. So essentially you have from 0 to 57 to get the job done, because no matter what happens in the game, whether the Seahawks win or the Broncos win is irrelevant. You guys both are going to have the same amount of wins and losses. So that's not going to determine the winner. What is going to determine the difference is the points. Now, you have to be the closest to the points without going over. So essentially being at 49 means you got from 0 to 49. But then if the next person that is competing with you is at 58, you got from 0 to 57, because that person can't win. Even if the total combined points is 57, which puts him 1 point away, he still went over. So that it automatically defaults to the next closest person who didn't go over, which would be you at 49. If they went to 59, obviously that person would win. So and another example would be you're at 49 and somebody else is at 51. All right, you tied on Monday night. It comes down to the points in the tiebreaker. They're at 51, you're at 49. 50 is right in the middle. If it landed on 50, the person with 49 would win, because they did it. They got the closest without going over. 51 was over the total, so they lose. So it's a really easy exercise. $7 for the weekly pick 'em pool. $7 per sheet. You can play as many sheets as you want. If you feel like playing 2 sheets or playing 3 sheets enhances your chances to win, knock yourself out. And again, at the end of that, to the victor and the goes the spoils and the money, of course, for the weekly pick 'em pool. So that link is down in the description, and there will be a new sheet up every single week for the weekly pick 'em pool. You do the sheet, you pay your money, and you're in. I will put all of the master sheets up on the website, LouieTeeNetwork.net, and you just go to the exclusives. So all of the master sheets for the week are on the website. If you've got any questions, if you decide you want to play, you got any questions, please feel free to hit me up. If you have already filled out the registration form and paid your money, then you should have received a welcome email that locks you in. There are like maybe 1 or 2 of you who have paid. Like my guy CJ hit me up today, made his payments for both the Survivor pool and the winners and losers. So I have to send him an email. So if you did it today, then you haven't received one yet, but I'm going to get around to sending those out. I think I may have one more out there that I have to check on that I've gotten the money for, and I can send out an email. But you'll know that you're locked in after you fill out the registration form and then you make the payment. You'll know you're locked in because you'll receive an email stating that I received your registration form and your fee, and you're now locked in. And as we get closer this week, if you've already entered, check your email. Most of you have done this before, but for those of you who have not, check your emails. I will be sending out all the information that you need, everything that you need, from links to all that stuff to keep you abreast of what's going on. I'll send you an email out showing you the ropes on how to check the status of the leagues and the pools each and every single week to stay up on the latest of what's going on. So you see your picks, you see everyone else's picks, so you know what's going on and you can keep up with it that way. So for anyone out there that is interested, the links are all down below this video. Check it out. Hit the link, fill out the registration form, and then go ahead and submit your money via either PayPal or CashApp. So Looking forward to it. I'm going to be pushing it hard all week long because the deadline for the Winners and Losers League and the Soul Survivor Pool is Thursday, September 8th at noon. Normally, I used to go all the way up to like 6 p, but I want to cut that time limit off early so that I will have an opportunity to get all of the spreadsheets, all of the information gathered, submitted, and then sent out to the masses, to all the players involved, so that they have that readily available at the time of kickoff on Thursday night. I do not want to push that thing up until kickoff like I've done in past years. I want to have all that information out to everyone in enough time so that they can digest everything, have it in front of them, and know that there's no funny business. So I'm going to stop the entries at noon on the day of kickoff weekend, which is Thursday, September 8th. Noon is the deadline for entry into the Soul Survivor Pool or Winners and Losers. Now, obviously, with the weekly pick'em pool, you're good up until kickoff. I leave that link open up until the kickoff, right around like 8 o'clock or so. And that's when I shut it off, and you can no longer submit your picks. And then it's closed at that. The portal is closed at that point. But for Winners and Losers and the Soul Survivor Pool, you've got up until Thursday, September 8th at noon to submit your picks and be a part of the fun. I'm looking forward to hearing from some of you. I'm looking forward to beating up on a lot of you. For those of you who have already entered, thank you so much, because that makes the football season so much more enjoyable. So thank you. And I look forward to destroying all of you. But in the meantime, those of you who are on the fence, those of you who are have not played before, I'd love to hear from you. And I would love to have you be a part of the LTN Exclusives. Again, all of the links down below of the in the description of this video. Any questions, please don't hesitate to ask, whether via email, via social media, or via this video. Leave it down in the comment section. I'll check the comments of this video very rigorously to make sure that if anyone is interested, I can get you suited and booted and ready to go for these leagues and pools. So with that said, I am going to glide to the side, allow you to get to this college football. There's a ton of it. And from here on out, there will not be a Saturday without college football until November. So enjoy the college football. NFL's right around the corner. This is the best time of the year when you get this football and their schedule back. You know, the season's about to change. Football is here. What more can you ask for? Bart Scott can't wait. So with that said, you guys go ahead, enjoy the college football, enjoy your weekend. It's Labor Day on Monday, obviously, so you will not see me on Monday, but I will be back in full effect on Tuesday, and from there we're off and we're running and we're not looking back. It'll be the start of the 2022 NFL season and the start of the LouieTeeNetwork programming for the upcoming season starts on Tuesday, and from that point forward, it's pretty much a race until the end of the season. And I hope you'll be a part of that every single step of the way. Until then, though, you guys take care. Again, if you got any questions, hit me up. Links are down in the description for all of these exclusives. Winners and Losers League, $25. Get you in, fill out the registration form. Winner takes all. Deadline is September 8th at noon. Soul Survivor Pool, it's a survivor pool. You know, pick a winner. If they win, you move on to the next week. You can't pick that team again. You lose, the team that you pick loses, you're eliminated. Boom. That's how it works. Winner takes all. $20 to get you in. Links are down in the description. Deadline also September 8th at noon. And then weekly pick'em pool, a weekly football pool. Okay. Pick winners. Submit your $7 to get you in. If you win, you get the pot. Simple as that. All right, you can play as many times as you like. So if you want to play 3 sheets, knock yourself out. But that's how that works. And that goes all the way up until 8 o'clock the night of that week's kickoff on Thursday. So every single week, the weekly pick'em pool is open up until 8 p.m. the night of the Thursday night game. So that's that. You guys enjoy your weekend. You know what it is. I'm your man, Louie T. Get off the bench, get in the game, and kick it with me, your man, Louie T. I did something really stupid before I leave. I hit my hand on the door. So I was shutting the door in my room, and as I shut it, I don't know why I swung my hand, like just swung it as I was turning around, just lackadaisical, not paying attention. And there's another door adjacent to that door that's a closet door. And I just hit my hand on the knob, and my shit went numb. And I knew I hadn't broken it because I could make a fist. I could squeeze my hand. I could make a fist. So I knew it wasn't broken, but the shit went numb. It was hurting. You know how you laugh to disguise the pain of something? Like when you hit your funny bone, it's not funny. But you laugh, like, oh, I can't speak for you. When I do something stupid like that, I laugh, but it really hurts, right? My shit is on fire. But I can make a fist. As you can see, I can make a fist. It's good, but man, I got to be careful, man. You be careful out there. Don't be like me. Be better than me. Anyway, you guys have a good one. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the college football. And I'll see you guys next week. Take care.
Louie